Let me take you back to a small, dusty town in New South Wales, Australia, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the air smells of dry earth and eucalyptus. This is Tenterfield, a place where everyone knows everyone and secrets are hard to keep. But there was one secret, so dark, so horrifying, that it still haunts the town to this day. This is the story of Katherine Knight, a woman whose name sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to speak it. Katherine wasn't always a monster, or so people like to believe. She was born into a family where violence was as common as the flies buzzing around the outback. Her father was a cruel man, her mother a shadow of a woman, and Katherine grew up in a house where love and pain were twisted together like a noose. By the time she was a teenager, she had already begun to show signs of something deeply wrong. She would wander into the bushland, returning with blood on her hands and a strange, unsettling smile. Animals began to disappear, cats, dogs, even livestock. When their remains were found, they were skinned, mutilated, and left hanging like grotesque trophies. The townsfolk whispered, but no one dared confront her. There was something in her eyes, something cold and calculating, that made people look away. As she grew older, Katherine's relationships became a series of disasters. She married 3 times, and each marriage ended in violence. Her husbands fled, battered and terrified, too afraid to speak of what she had done to them behind closed doors. But her final partner, John Price, was different. He was a gentle soul, a hard-working man who believed he could fix her. He didn't know that Katherine was beyond fixing. The night it happened, the town was eerily quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl, as if the world itself is holding its breath. John had finally decided to leave her. He packed his bags, his hands trembling, and told her it was over. Katherine didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just smiled, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You'll regret this," she said, her voice low and steady. John went to bed that night, unaware that it would be his last. Katherine waited until the house was silent, until the only sound was the rhythmic breathing of a man who thought he was safe. Then she crept into the room, a butcher knife gleaming in her hand. What happened next was a nightmare. She stabbed him 37 times, the blade plunging into his flesh with a wet, sickening sound. But Katherine wasn't finished. She dragged John's lifeless body to the kitchen, where she began her gruesome work. With the precision of a butcher, she skinned him, peeling his flesh from his bones as if he were nothing more than an animal. She hung his skin on a meat hook, the bloody remains swaying gently in the dim light. Then she took parts of his body and cooked them. She made a stew, the smell of meat filling the house, and set the table for 2, as if expecting John to join her for dinner. When the police arrived the next day, they were met with a scene straight out of a horror film. The house reeked of blood and death. John's skin hung like a grotesque curtain, and the stew sat on the stove, still warm. Katherine was sitting calmly in the living room, her hands stained with blood, a look of eerie satisfaction on her face. Katherine Knight was arrested and became the first woman in Australia to be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, but the town of Tenterfield never forgot her. To this day, they say you can still hear John's screams echoing through the bushland at night, and if you dare to venture near Katherine's old home, you might catch a glimpse of her shadow, still waiting, still hungry, forever haunting the land she once called her own. This is the story of Katherine Knight, a woman whose evil knew no bounds. A reminder that monsters are real, and sometimes they wear the face of someone you thought you knew.